Billy stood at the front door, waiting on his dad coming home from the Belfast shipyard. Oh, because this night, oh, it was the best night of all. It wasn't Wednesday night, soup night. Our Billy didn't like soup. And it wasn't Thursday night, stew night. Our Billy didn't like stew. No, this was Friday night. And Friday night meant fish and chip night. The best night of the week. He watched and he waited on his dad turning into the top end of the street. And there, sure enough, the blue boiler suit turned into the top of the street, and our Billy run for all he was worth, up into his daddy's arms, and his daddy scooped him up and swung him round so that our Billy's legs was flying in the air. He cuddled Billy in close to him, and Billy felt some of his daddy's whiskers rubbing against his soft cheek. And he even got a wee whiff of his daddy's beer breath. His daddy said, "Well, Billy, what's it going to be tonight, son?" Well, Daddy, I think I'm going to have a pasty supper." "Oh, a pasty supper indeed." Well, he opened his jacket pocket and he reached his hand down into the inside pocket, and out he brought a brown envelope. He peeled the brown envelope open and reached his fat fingers down into that brown envelope. And out he brought a brand new crisp £5 note. He says, "Now, Billy, that's 2 fish suppers for me and your ma and a pasty supper for you." Billy took the £5 note and folded it neatly in 4 and stuck it down his wee glove. And his daddy shouted after him, "Billy, don't forget now to lift the basket out of the hall. Watch how you go." Billy slipped and slid down that frosty street, and he grabbed the basket out of the hall, and he run as fast as he could round towards the chip shop. When Billy got to the end of his street, there was the old tramp, or the old man of the roads, as Billy's mother liked to call him. You know that old boy that sat at the end of the street with the 3 coats round him and his hat pulled down and his fingerless gloves on? He said, "All right, our Billy." But our Billy had no time for that old man. He just run on, and when he got near the chip shop door, the smell of the chip shop nearly drove him wild. He opened the door of the chip shop just in time to see the woman behind the counter break open a crispy chip. Crispy on the outside, fluffy in the middle, just the way our Billy loved them. He run up to the counter and he said, Miss, could I have a pasty supper and 2 fish suppers, one for my mum, one for my dad?" The woman behind the counter, she dipped the white fish into the creamy batter and she gently set it into the hot fat. It sizzled, and she got the big scoop of chips and put it out into the paper, and she asked Billy, "Billy, do you want salt and vinegar, niece?" "Yes, please, and plenty of it." Well, she wrapped them all well up in the newspaper, and she said, "Billy, where's your money, son?" Billy reached into his wee glove, but the £5 note wasn't there. Billy was horrified. He looked down in his other glove. It wasn't there either. Searched his pockets, looked all round the chip shop floor. The £5 note, where could it have went? Billy's dad was going to kill him. "Billy, away and retrace your steps and try and find that £5 note," was the advice the woman behind the counter gave him. Billy run out of that chip shop. The tears was blinding him, and he looked everywhere, but that £5 note was nowhere to be seen. His daddy would go mad if he's lost the £5. Just as he reached the end of his street, there was the old man of the road sitting, with the 3 coats on, the hat pulled well down, and the fingerless gloves. He said to Billy, 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 is this what you're looking for, son? When Billy looked, there was the £5 note in the same creases that he had made. Billy ran over to the old man and grabbed the £5 note, straight back round to the chip shop, paid the woman, run back round home again. And his daddy said to him, Billy, where have you been to get them fish? And Billy thought to himself, Dad, if you only but knew. Well, Billy's an old man today. And as Billy sits and looks in the embers of the fire and travels down the road of memory, he remembers that day. He remembers that day as a day that he learnt a lifelong lesson, a lesson that he taught to his own children and his children taught to theirs. For Billy learnt never to look down on anyone unless it was to give them a hand up. The fish and chip story.